Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 AWS Hackdays online grand final. My name is Johannes Jäger, and I'm going to be your MC for the evening. To get the show started, I'd like to invite Mr. Connor up on stage, who is the Managing Director for Amazon Web Services in ASEAN. Connor, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Johannes. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you loud and clear.
Great to be here. I hope my background is working okay. Look, it's great to be here. First of all, I'd just like to say I'm humbled to be surrounded by such capable builders. I've been the AWS ASEAN MD for almost 12 months now and been at AWS for 6 years. And I've heard a lot about the various hack days we've ran across Southeast Asia and across APJ over the last number of years, but never actually participated in one. So it's great to be here. And first of all, I'd just like to say congratulations to all of the participants for getting to this stage. I know we were overwhelmed by the number of respondents we had this year. So we had over 2,300 participants. And so the fact that you got to this stage and made it to the final 7 is in itself, I think, a phenomenal achievement. And I know already some of the projects from the first round have already very much impressed the judges. So look, you know, at AWS, obviously, we have a long heritage in trying to attract and work closely with builders. And so we're delighted to be associated with you here. Obviously, this is, I think, the 3rd year we've done this. 2017, we started. We had 1,000 odd developers that participated then. This year, we have over 2,300 from 10 different countries. And, you know, really thinking big about problems under kind of 4 industry challenges: sustainability, learning and development, automation, and security. And of course, this year, usually I guess we'd be face to face for this pitch session, but for this finale. But obviously, we're living in a different world, and it's all virtual. So it's great to see that we've all been able to adapt, and we've been able to kind of raise the bar again on what has been a fantastic series, even in these changed times. So yeah, without further ado, I'd like just to say thank you all again for your time. I want to wish you the very best of luck for your pitches and building tomorrow's workflow. And I'm sure you'll do phenomenally well. And I wish you every success. And thank you again for your commitment to AWS and for your participation in this great event. And we look forward to your feedback. Thank you. And I'll hand it back over to you, Johannes. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Connor. And indeed, what a crazy journey it has been. The team was actually almost ready to launch these hack days in February this year, but then, as you're all aware, situations change, context change. We had to rebuild the entire program. We're very firm believers that nothing should stop innovation. So we rebuilt everything overnight and moved everything online, and I think it has worked really, really well. The uptake this year, as Connor was mentioning, has been phenomenal, growing from the initial 1,000 to now to over 2.3 thousand participants. Just as a quick back story, over 10 weeks, we had over 2.3 thousand participants joining us. A bit of a breakdown here: we had 310 from Thailand, we had 110 over from Vietnam, 360 from our joint country, which is Laos, Pakistan, Myanmar, and Brunei, 480 from the Philippines, 570 from Indonesia, our biggest region this year, 190 from Malaysia, and 160 from Singapore. So to all the teams that are already here, you're big winners. You have come through a very, very competitive pipeline. Massive congratulations to all of you. You all are winners already, and today it's about choosing who are the top 3 teams from the region of hackers that we've engaged through this program. To our friends that are tuning in online, the official event hashtag is #AWS Hackathon. Do share your best moments and questions with us on social media. We love to engage with you there. Over the last 2 weeks, the team and I have been traveling all around ASEAN, not by airplane, but by Zoom. We conducted 7 online demo days to pick the 7 amazing teams that are going to be pitching today. And you can see it has really been very, very competitive. We had a lot of fun, and we can't see to hear what you've built over the last week. As Connor was mentioning, the topic for today, the topic for this final hackathon is building tomorrow's workflows. As you're all aware, the world has been changed as much in the last 6 months as it hasn't changed in the last many years combined. And we really challenge developers to build the future of workflows to help us cope with some of these changes. The prizes to be won today: for the second runner-up, every team member is going to be walking away with $100 worth of Amazon voucher. Our first runner-up is going to be, the second runner-up is walking away with 75. The first runner-up is walking away with $100 worth of Amazon vouchers. But of course, the grand prize, which all of us are competing for, is $20,000 in cash. So super, super exciting prizes. The rules for the evening are super simple, same like for all the demo days. We'll have 5 minutes of pitching time, followed by 3 minutes of Q&A. Once you're in the 4th minute of your pitching time, you hear the following sound. When you hear this sound, you have another minute remaining, after which I will cut you off to transition into the Q&A section to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to win these amazing prizes. The criterion, we have 4 criterion for the evening. First is how innovative is the solution? Is this something that's already existing in the market? Is this something we've seen at hundreds of hackathons before? Or is it something that's quite original? Secondly is, what is the business potential? Are we just building great tech, or are we building tech that can solve actual pain points? And this is something that can be economically scaled in the business environment. Thirdly, this being an AWS hackathon, is how well did you integrate the AWS services? Fourthly is, how complementary is your team? Do you have the skills to take this project forward? And last but not least, what is the quality of your pitch? So these are the criterion that the judges are going to be looking at when assessing your project. I'd like to take this moment also to say a massive thank you to our judges that have, to our mentors that have made themselves available during the last week of hackathon. Frank, Stefan, Rom, and Cedric, you guys have really been phenomenal. I know the teams have asked you a lot of questions to help them with their project. So massive, massive thank you to all of you for all your time and support. The judges for the evening are Mark Birch, who is the Principal Startup Advocate at Amazon Web Services. We have Gabe, who is the Senior Developer Advocate at Amazon Web Services. Steve Teo, who is the AWS Community Hero for AWS in Singapore, as well as the Director of Cloud Security Engineering at Horangi. And Supreet, who is also a Solution Architect at Amazon Web Services. Thank you so much to the 4 of you for making yourselves available this evening. And I maybe have each of you spend about 30 seconds to introduce yourselves to all the teams online. Mark.
Hello, everyone. And just wanted to say this is really awesome being here. And as for myself, Mark Birch, Principal Startup Advocate here at AWS, formerly from Stack Overflow and running Asia Pac for them. And I just want to say thank you again and good luck to all the presenters and teams this evening. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Gabe?
Hey, everyone. Just quick sound check. Can you hear me okay, Johannes?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
Good, thanks. Well, yep, my name's Gabe, like it says on the slide. I work at AWS. My job is to spend a lot of time interacting with developers and builders all around APAC. And it's really a pleasure to sit here tonight and to see all the hard work you all have put in for this hackathon. I've done my fair share of hackathons in my time on the other side, not on the judging side, but as a participant. And I know how hard you've all worked. So I just want to thank you in advance and say I really appreciate all the time you've put into it, because this wouldn't exist without you and all of the sweat. And I'm sure, frustration and overcoming difficulties that you've all faced this week. So bravo, I can't wait to see what you've built. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Gabe, and welcome back to another edition of the Hackdays.
Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here again.
Yeah.
Hey, hi. Just quite excited to see all of ASEAN and Asia Pac, or maybe more Asia with Pakistan, I'm guessing, to be competing in this final contest. It's quite exciting to just see like the whole community itself. I know many of the judges who are also in the community leaders all around ASEAN, and I'm pretty sure, you know, like with the energy that we're going to get from this hackathon itself, it's going to be an amazing next 1.5 hours. Going to be exciting. So I just wish the rest of you the best of luck in that sense.
Thanks so much, Steve. And Supreet.
Thank you, Jonas. Good to be here. It's always exciting to work with startups, and this is ongoing opportunity that as a AWS we get to work with this. Previously, I worked with several startups. In fact, I would say that most of my career has been working with startups. Last one being head of engineering for a fintech in Singapore. And one of the most exciting bit about working with startups is the whole idea of fostering growth. Growth could be in form of growing team, growing a product, growing technology. So in that sense, this is a good starting point for teams here to in fact start thinking about the maturity model and how you're going to take this product further. So this is something that I would be looking at from my lens. Thank you. Good luck to all of the teams.
Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us this evening. The teams are going to be pitching in the following order. So up first, we have Team MiPro representing Thailand. We then have Team Miracle from Vietnam, Team Innovators from Pakistan, Symbiote from the Philippines, Space Coup from Indonesia, Flame Robin from Malaysia, and last but not least, Team Badoop from Singapore. Just one thing to consider when you listen to these pitches, we released the problem statement 1 week ago. So all the ideation, problem statement validation, prototyping, developing, as well as building of the pitch deck has happened in the last 7 days. Of course, 7 days is a lot of time, but in many parts of the world, 7 days is also very little time. So with that being said, we wish all the teams the best of luck. Don't stress, don't speed through your presentation. Like we said, you're already the best of the best that we have found in ASEAN. And when the first team is ready, Team MiPro Club from Thailand, please do share your screen. We're ready when you are. Team MiPro Club.
Yeah, happy to be here. Let me share my screen. Everyone see it, right?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you, Agorize team and AWS team, to having us here today, presenting about a project that we are working on. I want to start the presentation about myself. Let me tell you a story about me. So I went to the coffee shop last week and I ordered black coffee. Usually I will pay at the cashier, right? And this time is the same. I paid it at the cashier. Something was missing. It is the discount that I haven't seen it, right? The thing is, people love discount, but most of the time we don't know about its availability. Comes to the payment method, right? We have so many choices of payment method. We have credit card, we have e-wallet, we have, in Thailand, we have mobile banking app that provide you the cashback and different type of the payment method will provide you the different type of benefits. And we don't know about how or which method that will provide you the maximized benefit back to you. Include all of this. If you are like me, you will love the service. If someone can tell you which payment method can provide you the maximized benefit, and if the restaurant provide you the promotion available at the time. Let me introduce you MiPro. MiPro is the chatbot that helps you search and personalize promotion back into your chat platform. It is a chatbot based on Line application. We start with Line application because in Thailand, this is very popular platform in Thailand. Basically, everyone has it. How it works like this. If you add MiPro, add a friend, and then you invite MiPro to your group like this. Just type MiPro. Now, you can call him to help you find the best promotion for you. Now, the flow is you just post the receipt when you get check anytime at the restaurant or coffee shop, like I mentioned before, the system can recognize the name of the restaurant with the price that you have ordered. Now, the system will match with your payment profile and suggest back to you, back into the official account like this. So you can swipe and select your preferred promotion. And I just choose 10%. Now I can get redemption at the stores or save it for later or share it with my friends. Of course, during the past few weeks, we also developed something called beacon device to install into the restaurant as well. This will improve experience overall when we go to the restaurant. Right off the bat, we will get the suggestion menu and special deal at the day. So we don't need actual menu. Just forget about it, right? We can use this menu instead. Now, when we finish our meal, we can take a photo of the receipt and send back to MiPro and select your type of payment. And you can enjoy the cashback or next time coupon for using next time if you return to the restaurant. Because of that, restaurant can increase the foot traffic and ensure about the retention back to the customer, to the restaurant. Moving to the architecture side, we want to design it as lean as possible. So we choose Docker image, install into easy to instance to handle the low traffic at the time of POC right now. And we choose Route 53 to direct and forward the request to CloudFront. CloudFront will act as the caching serving page and send back for the faster response to the Route 53 and the mobile application. For other operation, they will pass on to EC2. And if it's the receipt image, they will pass on to the Amazon recognition service that we connected. Of course, we aim to scale it up, right? So we choose serverless to answer that question because serverless will provide you the flexibility. Think about the traffic of the restaurant at the time, right? Usually people will go to the restaurant around 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We don't need to reserve the resource all of the day. We just focus on that time period. And we use Lambda to handle all the APIs. And as well as we choose AWS DocumentDB for migration database Mongo from the older version. And this can provide us the availability zone that is very flexible. And of course, we implement all the beacon and receipt reader. Right now, we can improve the accuracy up to 90% on average, and we can find the total amount of the bill. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Great job, Team MiPro Club. Now I'd like to open up the floor to any of the questions.
Okay, thank you. Let me know if you have the question. This is
Go for it, Gabe.
Yes.
Okay. So you showed two AWS architecture slides up there. Is my understanding correct? The first one is the current architecture, and the second one is how you would scale up, but you didn't actually build that. What you built, what you demoed on was this. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Just while I have the mic, let me ask one more follow-up question, then I'll pass it to my other judges. From a business perspective, I can see, you know, if everyone likes getting a discount, and if there is a discount available to me as a customer, I feel kind of frustrated. Like, why do I have to go through finding an app and interacting with a bot just to get this promo? If it's available to everyone, why can't the business should just make it available to everyone, right? 10% off your bill. Why do I have to do anything for it? So what's the actual business tie into this? Why would a business want to advertise a promo code on this instead of just offering, you know, putting a sign up saying, hey, there's 10% off right now? I'm interested to hear how you'll answer that question.
Yeah, so the question thank you for the question. First of all, if you think about the experience, right? When you go into the store, we have the beacon to serve that purpose. And but most of the time, when you go to the payment, you will use credit card, right? Each credit card will provide you different benefits. And because we have the close relationship with the banking services and payment gateway, which is very big in Thailand called KBank. We can implement to do just that in the payment method and can provide you more cashback. Does that make sense?
Sure. So there's two things going on. There's you possibly linking me up with an active promotion that the merchant has input somewhere that you've discovered, and the second is you advising me on which payment instrument to use to achieve the best discount. And those are totally independent of each other.
Right. So
okay.
Basically, we can start with KBank first. Thank you.
Maybe one other quick question. Mark, I saw you unmuting yourself.
All right. So obviously there's tons and tons of apps out there, all sorts of payment and discount type apps. So what is your strategy to actually go to market and introduce this to consumers? How are they going to be aware of this great opportunity that they have to find coupons?
Okay, thank you for the question. This is a very good one. And based on our partner, we have the close relationship with K+, which is the #1 banking app, and also food ordering
system. All right, Team Me Pro Club, you're getting saved by the ring. Fantastic job, Team Thailand. We know that being the first oftentimes is the most difficult, but you did a really, really good job. The bar is very, very high up. Great job. Congratulations for your phenomenal pitch. It's amazing what you can build in a week's time. Up next, we have Team Miracle representing Vietnam. And Team Me Pro Club, please don't forget to unshare your screen. Thank you.
So
Miracle, we're ready when you are.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you please confirm that you can see our team and the slide on the screen? Hello? Can you please confirm?
Yeah, loud and clear, and we see your screen. It's all good.
Okay, let's start. So everyone is talking about the customer experience. So the CX is very important for the business. But the first customer is your employee. You care your employee well, and your employee will care your customer better. So the concept of our proposal is to improve the employee experience in the mobility contact center. So firstly, here our team, Mr. Hiếu is our UI UX engineer, Annie our cloud native backend developer, Luke is our front-end developer, and my name is Viet. I'm a solution architect and team leader. We are on working in the native cloud product development company in Vietnam. So firstly, what is the contact center? A contact center is the central point from which on the customer interaction across various channels are managed such as voice, email, web chat, social media, SMS, and video. The primary purpose is to provide the customer with efficient and effective technical support, customer service, and telesales capability. With the legacy contact center, there is some challenge with the IT and business. Firstly, business has some challenge for the speed to market when they have the new requirement and want to launch as soon as possible. The demand for the personalized also is a challenger to understand who is the customer, what is the customer want, and how to solve the customer problem quickly. Lastly, how to improve the employee productivity, also a challenger. Secondly, IT side also some challenge with the legacy solutions such as the lack of scalable, flexible, and agility. Maintain a big team for the operation is not the cost effectiveness. So that is the challenge. So we build the future work for the contact center. That is the mobility contact center that support the digital for survival. This also a new digital evolution in this era. In this scenario, we will build a remote work for the employee or the agent with efficiency by improve the employee experience. So based on the research, the top challenges when the employee work remotely or work from home is the collaboration, communication, and knowledge list. So here how we solve the issue with three main capability on the one UI. Firstly, the working tool, we will provide the necessary information for the agent to work with the customer inbound and outbound so that the customer profile to understand who is the customer, case and SOA management, scripting, recommendation by Amazon personalized, recommend right cooking style for the better life. Voice sentiment by the Amazon comprehend to understand the conversation between the agent and customer, positive, negative, or neutral. Secondly, that is the reluctant the mini game when each performance is missed by the agent. And lastly, the employee emotion tracker with the two dimensions. The first dimension is the voice, sentiment, and face emotion tracker. The emotion tracker to understand the employee emotion during the conversation. We track the emotion by voice and face emotion for every single call and can support for the further analysis and emotion dashboard for the supervisor. The face ID for the secure login. And here is a summary for the employee experience. Now we can see how the magic works on the demo. So here is a solution that we use the AWS fully managed service and serverless architect with the core service in Amazon cannot comprehend, recognize, and amplify for the automating the deployment. We also use the code family and amplify for the CI/CD automation process. So the market size based on the research and market report for the cloud-based contact center demand, the market forecast from 2019 to 2025 is CAGR over 25%, last from 13.7 billion US dollar to over 49 billion US dollar. So the benefit on the Amazon Connect. So by researching the 6 customers who are using the Amazon Connect, last from the 500 to the 1,000 of the agent, the ROI of 241% by budget under 1 year and reduce over 30% contact center fee. So why us? Based on our research, we are the only one to provide the only one package of native cloud-based contact center with the end-to-end capability. Everything is in one UI. That's it. Based on the contact center with the AWS ML AI enablement, easily to scale and work anywhere based on the business demand. So here is a roadmap. We build the product in the long term. So thank you for your listening.
Wow. Thank you, Team Miracle, Team Vietnam. I'm sure the judges have some questions for you.
Yeah, I'll jump in. This is kind of an area, especially for me in HR and contact centers. You have a lot going on. There's a lot of solutions for basically contact center apps that are pretty well established. So of all the things that you showed, what is the one thing that you think you can do better and that you offer that's unique than all the other components of your solution? What is that one thing you want to concentrate on and do great?
That's the out of the box and ready to the market, because we combine in the traditional there is a lot of integration and legacy overhead. So with the Amazon Connect and the app we are building, that's the all-in-one, ready to go with the capability. That's it, we call the one UI suite. So the customer is ready to go from the platform and application and the feature for their business requirement.
So you're saying that your one thing is going to be the entire UI experience,
yes.
Correct?
Yes,
okay.
And the feature for the using it really, there is no require for the lots of third-party application. In the traditional, there are lots of maybe from this vendor and other vendor to do the integration. So that's the challenger for between the team and the company. So we build the one thing. We build based on our experience over 10 years working in the contact center. That's the same issue for every single customer. So we try to reduce that and bring the solution to the market and support the business as soon as possible. That's the purpose of our building.
So, great. Supreet?
Can I go for so the next question in fact connects back. While Mark has been very prudent at not getting into this, but in this particular case, the product being used, the person who's going to use, and the product being bought, the person who's going to buy are different. And typically when that happens, the usage characteristic or UI really doesn't matter. What probably would matter is three things: integration, integration, and integration. So how does it integrate with other services? As simple as, I've got an Active Directory running on my system. Can it interact with that? Or as an example, I have got a access control system which allows me to only show certain part of the CRM. How does it integrate with that? So those kind of things matter more than the UI. while the product looks great, it will come down to, again, Mark has already alluded to it. What is the defense as much as so, on one end, it's the idea that this is the unique feature, but also it is to be seen as a moat, a defense against any incumbent who comes into this category and says that I have got a better product. So what's that? And what is your GTM strategy, go to market? So you need to go out to many customers and being able to pitch as a telecom provider, I need a contact center solution. How are you going to reach out to them and say this is the best solution and establish that?
Yeah, thank Supreet for the question. That's a very big question. So there are two main thing in your question. The firstly for the iteration. So we aim to build around 80% in the future. So we still need for some customization and the iteration. But that is support in the two model, in the cloud model or hybrid model. It's the customer on the on-prem. So if the customer already on the cloud, so we can also do the API integration with the hybrid on-premise. So we can do like the direct connect for the secure and delegate connection between the AWS and on-premise infrastructure. And the strategy for the
right. Team Vietnam, unfortunately, it's all the time we have. Thank you so much for your hard work and your presentation. Congratulations again. Really, really phenomenal job. Up next, we have Team Innovators representing Pakistan.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. Let me know when you're able to see it. Give me a moment.
No worries. We see your screen.
Yeah. 1 second. All right, so I'm in position. So can you hear me loud and clear and see my screen as well?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. All right, so hi, our project is called HRPAL, which is a handy solution that will facilitate recruitment in the new world. We are Team Innovators. I am Sheharyar, and I'm a data scientist at a company called Texel. And this company, Texel, was actually kind enough to let us use their AWS account for this project. After that, we have Mariam, who is a machine learning expert and a cloud architect. Next to her is Faiza, who has taken care of the business side of the project. And lastly, we have Nimra, who is a UI UX designer. Starting with the problem statement, in recruitment, we generally have two tiers. In the first tier, CVs are filtered, phone or email correspondence is made, and sometimes initial screening tests are taken. And in the second tier, technical interviews are taken and candidates' personality is analyzed. After this COVID crisis, recruitment has transformed in a way that now HR is filtering a lot of CVs and scheduling online interviews, where there is a virtual wall between the interviewer and the candidate. The interviewer tries to gauge the compatibility of the candidate from both technical and personality aspects and eventually make a hiring decision. The shortcoming in this process is that it is a time-taking process. Since you have to go all the way through the recruitment cycle to judge the candidate, it is non-scientific and a subjective personality assessment because usually one person is making the final decision according to their own subjectivity and understanding. And ultimately, it may lead to a high risk of hiring the wrong candidate. It is generally known that hard skills like using a computer can always be taught, but it is a power skills that determine how suitable a candidate is. Power skills include confidence, creativity, and listening skills. To make this recruitment process scientific, there is a personality assessment test known as Myers-Briggs test that is used throughout the world to evaluate power skills. It categorizes a person in one of the 16 personality types, and it has an accuracy of around 90%. We are incorporating this scientific personality assessment in the recruitment process by introducing a solution called HRPAL. Now, in the first year of recruitment, where initial screening is done, the HR executive can either communicate with candidate over phone call or email, and this correspondence will be fed to the cloud that passes it to our our solution HRPAL, which predicts the type of personality from among the 16 personality types, after which the HR executive can decide to schedule a detailed interview and finally make a hiring decision. Why HRPAL? This process is less time consuming because it is allowing recruiters to assess the candidate's power skills during the very initial screening. It is a handy solution. It has historical statistics, and above all, it is a scientific and unbiased method for recruitment. We implemented this solution in 2 phases. The first phase is training phase, where we trained some machine learning classification models in AWS SageMaker. After that, we have the production phase, where an audio or textual file is uploaded into the system, which goes to AWS S3. A Lambda service detects the arrival of this file and passes it to AWS Transcribe in cases of audio file and AWS TextRect in cases of textual document. The extracted content is passed to AWS SageMaker, which predicts the type of personality and returns to Lambda, which then stores it to RDS. And finally, analytics are developed in QuickSight and passed to the front-end application. This is one of the visualization graphs of QuickSights, which shows how many personality type individuals the company in which I am currently working has. For the business part, we are targeting small and medium-sized enterprises, recruiters. Our business roadmap is such that we we started from this proof of concept version, and now we have made it into a website where we can introduce tariff plans. And in future, we will be moving towards making it into a mobile application with technical enhancements to make it a commonly available solution. Here is our working demo. This is our solution HRPL. I'm going to upload an audio file first in which we have a telephonic conversation with this candidate. Next, I will upload the CV of this candidate. Now I will check what our solution predicts about this candidate. Based upon the telephonic or email conversation, it says that this candidate has a personality type of ENFP, which stands for extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and prospective. There is a detailed description about this personality type below it to give a better idea. For example, power skills such as the assertiveness and leadership qualities are listed in the form of these scores. So if this candidate is applying for the position of a sales manager, then based upon this personality type, he is the perfect fit. And in the panel besides it, our AWS TextRect service has captured the CV in a standardized format, which serves as an additional layer of support for this predicted personality type. So this is how a recruiter can now evaluate the personality of a candidate. So that is it from our side. Thank you very much. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
Perfect timing.
Thanks.
Any questions from our panel of judges?
Okay, I think 2 questions from me.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
what kind of algo are you all using to determine like basically their personality types? Maybe you can go into more detail onto that.
Yeah. So we are using, there is a personality assessment test known as Myers-Briggs test, which is very popular in psychology, and the Fortune companies are using that test to evaluate.
So assume that we know about Myers-Briggs, like exactly how you determining, like how you're going to bucket them into each of the 16 different personality types.
Yeah. So So the cycle we are following is that as a recruiter, you have conversation with the candidate in the form of telephonic conversations, or maybe in the form of email correspondence, or maybe you have the candidate fill some personality assessment test, and you can extract that content, that textual content, and pass into our machine learning model. And our machine learning model, which is trained on Myers-Briggs personality assessment test, it will output which personality that particular candidate belongs to.
So how do you derive that model itself?
Yeah, so we are using simple classification for the time being. We have used KNN classification, and above all, we are using XGBoost for the classification part. We have a data set. We trained a few models on that data set, and we are making a consensus of all those models and outputting a single judgment of what personality that candidate belongs to.
Okay, so that was kind of like the first question. The second question I have is like, I think judging people based on requirements, based on their personality types, is actually going into a very interesting area. I think you have mentioned a lot that this is kind of like the scientific process. Yeah. So, right, like, would you be actually then going according to what an employer kind of wants as like, you know, like, are you going to be very biased for different personality types in that sense?
That is actually a very good question. It all depends on what kind of a data set we are using. If our data set is balanced enough, and there is no biasness or no leaning towards a personality type, then I think it would work perfectly. And whatever personality the candidate belongs to, it would output correctly if the accuracy is in place.
There will always be a bias. In fact, most of the judges are triangulating towards the same question. I just noticed. So I have this feeling about I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Minority Report. This is a pre-crime kind of model. So imagine a situation as a candidate, I go in and say that I will not take this test because this is not inclusive and doesn't encourage diversity.
Yeah.
What would be your counter to that? That
so
as a candidate, I feel that this is biased and I don't want to get into it.
Okay, firstly,
10 seconds.
Firstly,
okay, I want to quickly add into something. For example, in normal recruitment process, how you are very sure that that process is not very biased, because naturally we humans look for people like us when we are recruiting. So this can also hurt the diversity in the workplace. So what basically we are trying to achieve is, by automation, we are also focusing to remove that kind of subjectivity that can appear because of human involvement in that process. So that is just a quick insight from my side.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, team innovators from Pakistan. I know you're very tight on time now with a lot of questions being hurled your way, but really, really great job. Up next, we have team Symbiote from the Philippines.
Hello, can you hear me properly?
We do hear you well.
All right. And is the presentation showing as well?
Yes, the presentation is showing. You may start.
Oops, sorry. We all trade hours of our lives to earn money and make ends meet. But what if a huge chunk of your income goes into someone else's pockets? And no, we're not talking about taxes. You see, seaweed farmers in the Philippines lose 80 to 90% of their potential income due to status quo's faulty workflow. Imagine if that was the case for you as well. But let's take a step back. Seaweed is a rich aquaculture plant used in products that can be found at home, from confectionaries, cosmetics, all the way to medicines. Due to the high functionality of seaweeds, global demand continues to skyrocket, even projected to be a 21 billion industry 3 years from now. But despite huge demand opportunities, farmers are still plagued with unprofitability over the years. Aside from seaweed diseases decreasing their yield, they are too dependent on the middlemen to sell their produce to big-scale processors. A chain of middlemen buys seaweeds at $410 per ton and sells them to processors at almost triple the price. Nestor, a seaweed grower in the Philippines and a father of 4, is still living under the poverty line. He can't afford sending his children to good schools, let alone meet most of their basic needs. Nestor is just one of the tens of thousands of small-scale farmers who share the same story. Swarm, our country's winning entry for the Philippines, has addressed low production yield. But with a weak workflow in the distribution channel, profit optimization is still out of reach. Thus, we're coming full circle by assisting farmers reach profit optimization through the disruption of status quo's workflow using our solution called Spawn. Spawn, a seaweed profitability advancement workflow network, is an AI and blockchain-powered distribution workflow system. We're going from an unprofitable reliance on middlemen to a Spawn-enabled workflow which empowers farmers and maximizes profits. We achieve this by helping farmers predict the demand so that they can maximize their production while reducing wastage. We connect farmers directly to the processors, allowing them to have a direct line to their buyers. We automate the tedious task of the consolidation of goods and scheduling of logistics. And with multiple actors in the chain, we keep track of all of the transactions in a secure blockchain ledger. So here we provide farmers information on the demand, yield, and even supplier level predictions on these things using artificial intelligence. Next, for the order processors, can input their order details such as volume, type, and their expected date. The farmers can then commit to an order specifying their commitment volume, their price, their target delivery, and other logistics information. So they can select boat and trucking, for example. Once the farmer finishes the harvest, they can fulfill the order and specify how much they were able to harvest. When everything is ready, the farmer can schedule a delivery in a few simple clicks. They can also see an overview of the transaction history and track the order stored in our ledger. Same goes for the processor as well. We envision this to be a full end-to-end solution, from production to distribution. So we have Swarm, our project there below, as part of the architecture. Next, we utilize Amazon SageMaker for the demand prediction, AWS blockchain services for recording transactions into our blockchain ledger, Aurora as the database of choice, Amplify for our web and mobile application, and we utilize AWS Lambda to orchestrate all of these together. Spawn is aligned with the United Nations SDGs. We bring value by increasing revenue by 90%. We decrease supply costs by 10 to 20%. We provide a more efficient workflow, and we empower our farmers. And secondly, as a side benefit, as a COVID-19 response ally with recent studies showing seaweed's potential as a remedy for COVID, and more than that, it's also used in laboratory testings as an agar medium. To introduce the team, we have a very diverse team. We have 2 senior engineers with a combined experience of more than 25 years. Sir Rainier is an IoT and machine learning subject matter expert and back-to-back AWS Hackdays Philippines winner. Sir Casey is a technology and IoT expert and is also a Nokia Innovation Awardee. Jeremiah, I'm a neophyte with fresh ideas, globally awarded hackathon enthusiast and president of the Philippine Blockchain Olympiad. And to wrap the team up with more than 10 years of expertise in the business and research domain, we have Miss Ivy, a business faculty researcher and mentor for winning business idea competitions and social entrepreneurship, with research experience in seaweeds and supply chain. With amazing exposure of the country finals, we have partnered with One World, One Nation, a US-based organization which helps different agriculture sectors in the Philippines. With them, we will raise our first $5,000 for prototyping and pilot. So that's something that we're really excited about. Here's an overview of our business canvas. Our revenue stream will be from the transaction charge that we'll be taking at 15%, and we estimate our return of investment of 162% in the next 2 years. We will leave our business overview here for your perusal as we head into the question and answer portion. We would like to now take your questions.
Thank you so much. So replacing middlemen to become a middleman. I love it. I'm sure the judges will have some questions for you.
Yeah, let me just kick off. I love the mission. You mentioned a part of that, which is, okay, let's replace the middlemen. But the middlemen oftentimes have the logistics network. And you had something in your demo around, oh, let's ship. That's a big portion of the solution actually make sense and viability. So have you figured out who your logistics partners are going to be?
Yeah, may I answer, please? We are not taking away the logistics. What we're taking are the major seaweed consolidators. There are around 3 of them, and they are actually taking majority of the profit or the revenue of our seaweed farmers. Jake, would you like to add something?
Yes, so logistics will still be part of our partners. We automate all that process for them so that they don't have to rely on the middlemen and their networks. Because these middlemen, whether we like it or not, they're going to provide the logistics, but they're also going to take profit, which that's why that drives the prices down for these farmers.
I'm going to ask 2 questions, if I may. Let's get real. Why do we need this to be on a blockchain? And I'll ask both questions so you can decide how much time to allot to each answer. The other question is, what are you using for forecasting from an AI-driven smart data where like a simple logistic regression or something, a linear regression rather, wouldn't suffice?
Okay. To answer the blockchain question, actually, we were discussing on whether we go with Amazon QLDB, which is not a blockchain, but a immutable record. And that's what we actually made for our prototype. We're trying to assess whether a managed blockchain with Ethereum, for example, would be best, but that's why we're leaning more towards QLDB. So blockchain won't be ultimately necessary, but that can still be further discussed since we have a lot of actors from suppliers, and we're also planning to integrate loaning institutions, for example. So that may be where blockchain will come in. As regards to a simple logistics regression, again, we also believe that that can be used, but as we grow further, we don't just want to provide simple yield or demand prediction, but we want to make these farmers with previously no tools at all to become very smart farmers with all of the necessary information that they would need to be able to be profitable in their ventures. So it's not strict with the technologies that we're using. We're very flexible based on what would be needed in the use case.
I'm going to rephrase the questions because they don't seem to be answered. One is blockchain really needed? Couldn't this all, whatever you're talking about, be done without blockchain, using a database and proper API constructs that you build with all your partners? Often you find that's cheaper, better, faster than blockchain. Blockchain produces a certain kind of artifacts in terms of speed or number of transactions per second that you're going to have vis-a-vis what are the kind of returns on investment of using blockchain. Second thing is, so from a prediction point of view, you mentioned that you're doing ML. Have you also looked at using constraint programming? Because supply chain management for since 80s probably had this whole tool which is linear programming or constraint programming to get this kind of supply chain where you need to match demand with supply could be done without using ML at all.
Mhm.
Because
So-
it, and also second thing is seasonality.
You get
To
10
answer the-
seconds for the answers on this one.
To answer the first question, blockchain isn't necessary. We prefer QLDB because of its journal system so that we don't have to build an audit system with SQL or other databases. To answer the second question, we weren't familiar with that constraint, but yeah, we'll look into that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, team. Symbiote from the Philippines. For those of you that are just joining us online, this is the final demo day for the AWS Hackday 2020. We have so far heard teams Thailand, Vietnam, Pakistan, and the Philippines. Up next, we have team Indonesia called SpaceCoo. I know you guys have a lot of support online, so we wish you the best of luck for your presentation. Team SpaceCoo, please.
Hey everyone, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we do.
So,
yep.
Okay. Hey everyone, we are from Team SpaceCoo. My name is Pandi, and today I will be pitching representing our team idea for AWS Hackdays 2020.
I was saying nice name.
For the very first time in history, no one knows what's going to happen in this pandemic era, but we can embrace a new lifestyle, new normal, new attitudes, and new spending habits. According to Statista.com, the amount of money customers spend in retail in 2019 is $24 trillion, but now physical stores are forced to close. People are adapting to a new customer journey, which is D2C business, or direct to consumer, means that retailers are selling their products through mobile and digital channels directly. According to McKinsey & Company, there are 3 other important customer behavior change in pandemic era. First, people tend to buy necessity in the nearest store. Second, they tend to buy good all at once, so they don't have to visit the store frequently. Last, consumer priority for bank non-mandatory spending has decreased. And that's brought us to our main insight: how to adjust new customer behaviors, but keeping it affordable and hygiene considering its pandemic era. Introducing StoreCoo, your go-to app that offers all your daily needs everywhere you go. We created a shopping portal so the customer will be able to purchase based on their needs. Let's see the video demo of the product. Imagine a refill station placed and can be accessed everywhere. But instead of snack or soda, we fill it with their daily needs, especially in this pandemic era. People don't have to go to supermarket. They can just plan their purchase through StoreCoo application, check the stock availability, and go straight to the nearest refill station. Plus, they can customize the quantity based on their needs. It's everywhere, it's contactless, and 24/7 ready to serve user. As we can see, this is an era of collaboration. We are going to form a partnership with big producer, retailer, and small and medium-sized enterprise to directly sell the product to customer. We determine what type of the location that is beneficial or for our business and track their needs. There are the best prospective location: housing area needed basic food, office need beverage, public space like needs snacks. It is targeted based on their needs. StoreCoo provides service such as online transaction and monitoring real time. Therefore, we need a big, fast, reliable system for sustainability of our user experience. And that's why we are using serverless. The system itself is divided by 3 main focus areas: user, admin, and store queue machine. The main function user is to display the product menu for the end user and for text transaction. As for admin, is for the access and setting for all the store queue machines. Deploying apps through the AWS Amplify is very reliable. We will be able to make our workflow simple for web and apps development. We are using AWS SageMaker for image recognition for better customer experience, and also can suggest customer demand based on demographic data. Our team consists of professionals in their respective fields. With 3 or more, we are positive that we can make this business grow internationally. If we talk about number here, we are optimistic that we can reach 0.5% from all of the retail spending in Indonesia, which is 5 billion. We are starting from Asia, and then for our future plan to go to international. We are optimistic that we can reach break-even point in the 3rd year. The main revenue of the store queue is basically from the transaction fee we get from our partners. We will get it from brand, retail, and public space owner. Besides, we can also get it from this customer top up to wallet queue. This is probably what sounds crazy for now, but we believe this is one of the solutions for us, especially in this pandemic era. Store queue, get your needs just one click. Let's build for tomorrow with better customer behavior and better feature of our environment. Thank you so much for your attention. Now we are ready for your question.
Thank you so much, Team Space Queue.
This coming from Tokopedia, I feel that it feels really close to what I've done before. Question straight away: how are you going to compete against, let's say, Indomaret, Alfamart, which are everywhere more or less, and even people like Bukalapak and Tokopedia are getting into entry point of agent, where in Kampung you would have an agent who can actually order on your behalf and probably keep the stuff beforehand against you. Second thing that matters is how would you do credits, because a lot of time people don't have ready money to buy. So a lot of them are looking at credits as a way of so being able to pay later is something that works a lot in Indo. So do you have any plans on that?
Okay, actually, in this era, back to our main insight, how to adjust new customer behaviors but keeping it affordable and hygiene. Actually, in this era, many retailers are forcing to close, like Indomaret and Alfamart is forcing to close. Because I've been research in Indonesia, my country, we can give the investor or producer a new business opportunity. For the customer, we give them the cheapest product that can buy. We give them easy to use app and store machine so that they can adapting with this pandemic situation. Also, we are planning to make a partnership with Alfamart and Indomaret, because like they have retail store, but we can place our machine there.
Any other questions from the judges?
How are you going to defend against, like Alfamart just doing something very similar to this, right? Because now you are saying that you're going to place one of your machines inside Alfamart itself.
So basically, it's the same. Like when we get a partner with Alfamart and Indomaret, we are not give them. We are not taking a head-to-head business. We give them opportunity for a new business and new customer behavior. So next time the customer can just write to the Indomaret and reveal they want to need to reveal like soap, like the milk, daily needs, all daily needs.
Maybe one quick last question.
I think this is will be a revolutionary of retail industry.
If no other question, well, fantastic job, Team Space Goo from Indonesia. A quick and friendly reminder to my judges, please don't forget on the Agorize platform to click validate once you have scored the project so that we can smoothly go through the validation phase. That was Team Space Goo from Indonesia. Up next, we have Team Flame Robin representing Malaysia.
Wait a second, let me share the screen.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we do.
All right. Hi guys, hope you're having a good day today. I'm Swastik, Senior Game Programmer in the Streamline Studio, Malaysia.
Hello, I'm Satyam. I'm working with Astro as a solution architect. Today I'm presenting Green Robin. So as we know, COVID-19 has disrupted food supply chain. Locust attack in this region has devastated many farms. Migrant labor has also moved towards village due to unemployment. We are inventing a solution, we call it Green Robin. It's smart farming solution, which connects farmer to share their resources, workforce or equipment, and it also provides surveillance of farm. This is serverless architecture and components which are used in this application. So for example, Barry is thinking that he can get, if he can get one more harvester with 2 workers, it would be helpful for him significantly. Whereas Muthu and Anwar, 2 more farmers looking for a short-term job. Barry has placed a request on app, and then this request is being sent to all matching profiles. Anwar and Muthu has confirmed yes, and Barry has received the response. Similarly, they can also supply their vegetable and grains to the market. So here we have achieved sharing resources, workforce, and eventually improvement in the supply chain. Farm surveillance system is using 360-degree camera and detecting activity using TensorFlow Lite. And in case of any locust attack, fire, or any other events, it will be communicating to gateway and using LoRaWAN. LoRa is long range. And gateway is then sending all this information to cloud application, which is having all the health of assets and all the alerts in geographical view. Then this event will be moved to mobile application as a notification to farmers. So they will see what is happening in their farm. So as part of business plan, resource sharing module will be free, and agent will be also able to, they will be also able to afford because it will be less than $100. And detection will be using models which is more trained specifically for this purpose. So LoRaWAN makes it works on low power and high coverage area. And in order to scale, we just have to place the agents everywhere, more area, and it will cover the more areas. And in future development, what we can do is we can program the drone, which will be going and capturing the event from the top. And then we can have a predictive analysis on the detection of crops and all that stuff. And we can repurpose it for oil and gas plant security or chemical factory as well. So here is the demo.
We are going to go through the Green Robin application that will be used by farmers and people who are looking for help to collaborate with other farmers. This will help them streamline their process and get an optimal solution. We start by signing into an existing account. On the main landing page, you would be able to see your farm and geolocation of all agents along with their health. That is if you have taken Green Robin agent service, as well as any other tool that you might have and have rented it out to other farmers. On the profile page, you'll be able to edit basic informations. You can also let the service know whether you are open to work and help out other farmers in need. The inventory page is where you will be able to see all your agents and tools that you might have and are willing to rent and share with other farmers. You will be able to add a new agent by pressing the Add button. The registering of an agent would be done by scanning the QR code or a unique serial number that would come with the agent. Once added, you'll be able to see their health, whether they are active or in need of repair. You will be able to request any tool or workforce that you might need. Tools like tractors or harvesters are quite expensive and can be shared or rented out with other farmers in order to get the job done. Once request is submitted, people who are using the Green Robin app and are open to work will get a notification, as well as people who are willing to share resources will get a message based. From there on, they can communicate and collaborate with each other. This will also help people who are unemployed and are looking for work. You will also service in case of any activity that would happen on the farm.
These are the components which we are using to create prototype solution. Camera, nanoboards as Green Robin agents, lithium-ion battery, Raspberry Pi 4 as a Green Robin gateway. This is the portal hosted on AWS, completely serverless. I'm logging in. This is the dashboard which shows all the farms with their agent and help. To see the deep detail of each farm, we can go here. This shows all geo coordinates of farm and all agents and gateway which is installed here. Now I'm going to show you how this detection actually works. This is one of our agent. I'm going to send some picture to detect the activities.
All right, that's all the time we have.
Detection
Team
alert, grass
Flame Robin,
87.5%.
great job.
Fire,
We're now going to be
99.6%.
moving into the Q&A session of your presentation.
All right.
Any questions?
Thank
from
you.
the judges? Yeah.
Thank you, Team Flame Robin. This is very ambitious.
Yes.
And I've asked this before because I think there's a lot of ambition to do a lot of really great things and be innovative. But you have a lot going on, and I do fear that it might be a bit too much. What would you say is your one unique capability that you're trying to deliver to the market that is really going to get the attention of your customers? Because ultimately, with any solution, it's going to be about distribution and getting this out there at a significant volume.
Yes. So the most important here is collaboration. So how all these farmers will be able to collaborate and share their resources. As of now, in this region, in the Southeast Asia region, specifically from where I'm coming from, India, we don't have anything which is actually sharing resources. I know that farmers are not that educated. They can use the smart apps, smartphone and apps. But now since COVID-19, a lot of migrant workers are moving back to village. They have the information, they have the knowledge. They can use back this knowledge there. So they don't have to go back to the city to do this other job.
Let me ask a follow-up question on that then, if I may. Why not just make Green Robin only do that, right? It is very ambitious. Why not just say, I'm just going to match farmers with workers who need help, or I'm just going to match people who have harvester machinery with people who need it. That's it. Why go so broad? Help me understand what the force multiplier of the wide ambition of this project is versus doing something more narrow.
Yeah. So if you look at the recent problem, not only COVID-19, there was a locust problem. So locust swarm attacked Middle East, east of Africa and west of India, and it was going towards east of India as well. So if we have to solve this problem as well, it's not only about just collaboration. So we have to think beyond the collaboration because locust is destroying complete farms. If you look at videos and photos, they are destroying everything. They are eating everything. And if they don't get anything to eat, they are eating themselves. So they are kind of beasts. So we have to stop them. And it's happening every year.
But why does your app have to do everything? Oh, sorry, never mind. I'm out of time.
The clock has saved you. The clock has saved you from Gabe's question.
Have questions separately as well.
Definitely can connect after the event as well. And up next, we have our final, last but certainly not least Team Badoop from Singapore. Happy birthday to your people's country.
Can you hear us?
National Day.
Oh,
we hear
yes.
you loud and clear, yes.
Sure. Okay. Give us 1 minute. Share screen. Excuse me. Let's see.
You may start.
Okay.
Give us 1 second.
Sure.
All right, we can begin now. Cool. Okay, so hi everyone. So right on to the last pitch of the day. So get excited for Team Badoop. So we shared about Badoop in round 1, and today we're back to share about Canary, which is our product for today. So I'm just going to introduce my team first. We have Gabriel over here, who is a software engineer from Goldman Sachs. Myself, I'm Jolene, and I'm a solutions engineer from Salesforce. We have Javin, who is an investment analyst from ST Telemedia, and Zul is a firefighter from the Singapore Defence Force. Right, so today, the world has changed as we know it because of the pandemic, and we have seen so many new innovations, from digital learning onto telemedicine and so on. But something that is truly missing today at the same time is that the world is not exempted from having to deal with all of these different disasters during this period of COVID. Right, we saw the Beirut explosions, typhoons, and earthquakes, and so on and so forth. And when you're stuck in a disaster, it's natural to be caught in shock and panic. And at the same time, it's really difficult for healthcare workers to really provide and administer healthcare, as though it's not difficult enough. Right, and on top of that, during a period of disease outbreaks, these camped quarters are really breeding ground for diseases at the same time. Right, so disasters have impacted 160 million people around the world. And so this brings me to our problem statement, right? How can we respond to emergencies and large-scale evacuations in midst of a pandemic, effectively in the future and beyond, and really make a difference to save lives? And so this brings me to my solution, Canary, which is an integrated disaster relief solution that actually guides victims to provide medical visibility across to healthcare workers.
So Canary is actually made out of two parts: a disaster evacuation tool that routes victims to the safest shelter, and an integrated medical passport. So when disaster strikes, the disaster response workflow will be triggered, and Canary sends a notification to individuals, prompting them to seek nearby shelter, or if they are injured, to seek immediate help. Canary then routes the user to the nearest shelter, and once there, the app then provides healthcare workers with the vital information that they need. So Canary's menu displays crucial information about the disaster, crowdsourced or pushed by first responders, and the user will actually be prompted to either find a shelter or call for assistance. Canary will then find the optimal route to a shelter, avoiding any obstacles along the way, such as collapsed buildings or fires that may be in the way. So under the hood, upon receiving an input from admin or through deployed sensors, the API endpoint sends an SMS notification to the users, and the user selects whether to find a route or call for help. So AWS then retrieves the user's geolocation, and the pathfinding algorithm actually finds the best possible shelter based on the hub occupancy rate and potential obstacles. So upon reaching the shelter, the healthcare worker scans his medical passport and retrieves his all his personal and medical details via post or Bluetooth. And finally, the healthcare worker will do a medical assessment on the patient with the help of Amazon Transcribe, and with AWS step function as a scaffold as well. A medical officer will also have the option to view a dashboard of all the patients as well. So Pathfinder actually uses third-party APIs to map out a route based on mobile crowd sensing and control density of the disaster hubs. Transcribe Medical extracts key intents from the conversation with the patient. Step function automatically updates the patient's vital signs through a series of flows. And finally, Canary can integrate with a health management system to deploy crucial information on health management system itself. So moving on to the Canary business strategy.
Right. So first of all, the market analysis. Right now in the market, there really isn't a solution that tackles the root of the problem. And Canary is a sole solution with evacuation routing, medical information, in low connectivity. And on top of that, what Canary is able to do is to really value add in terms of adoption by governments and also with federal agencies in order to reduce avoidable deaths. Right. And so moving on to the most exciting part for me, which is what are some of the next steps and what is the growth model that we might have. So some of our potential use case is really to integrate and make use of drones for drone imagery to really have a good bird's eye view of what's going on the ground. And with regards to a partnerships ecosystem, we really want to be able to work with different bots as well as with the AWS disaster response team at the same time. And not only that, we're also able to scale to some high-risk industries like the oil and gas industry. And so to conclude, Canary is the unique disaster relief solution, which is smart and is able to be used in poor connectivity for routing and evacuation. And what it really does is that it adds to our ecosystem and complements our first product, Baduk, which we shared in the first round to provide proactive personal security and at the same time also in midst of crisis to build tomorrow's workflow. And so as always, Baduk is always there protecting, always ready. And with that, thank you very much. We really hope that you enjoyed our presentation. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you indeed.
Stop sharing. I think no, it's okay. Yeah.
For the final time this evening, any questions from our judges?
So in terms of in order for this to work at a mass scale, right? I mean, there obviously needs to be a push for distribution, for adoption and stuff like that. So I think in developed countries, that's usually a solved problem. how do you see developing countries adopting a solution like this?
So, there's one part that we spoke about, but we didn't really share about, which was the part about the integrated health passport. So what we feel is that this is something that even has its users even outside a disaster scenario. So this is also a first stepping stone for countries to begin to onboard people onto this platform. But also, of course, in the event of an actual emergency, what we feel is that we can actually use services like AWS, like SNS, to send out SMSs that prompt people to download this app. So that's the way that we foresee being able to deploy this effectively across huge areas where required. Yeah.
Does that answer your question for this?
I think maybe. Oh, sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So there are two parts to it. One is that we are also providing a so-called value add for these countries that perhaps may not have such a full integrated system, even in peacetime, in non-disaster period, to let people start to onboard. And in the event that there is actually a problem and there's a disaster situation, you can actually send out SMSs to get people to download the app and things like that. That's the two-pronged approach that we have on this.
Yeah, I also with a Badu. Sorry.
Yeah, no further questions.
So similar situation. I mean, you can't deny that the current situation we are in is a black swan situation, and in that sense, what's the incentive on a day-to-day basis for people to keep this app updated? So as a stat, many times this flies around. There is a n number of apps. Now I won't mention what is that n because it would differ from who states it, that people will keep updated, and rest of them drop off the phone infrastructure for various reasons. And this particularly is a problem in case you are in a developing country where typically the phone plans and the app sizes are constrained anyway. So in fact, where Steve has already pointed this out, where you really need this kind of app, you probably will not have the right infrastructure to go with it, which includes mature mapping system, being able to tell the exit plans. They are not there. So how do you solve for that problem and work out as an issue?
So to clarify, your question comes into a few points. One being the fact that in the developing countries, people's phones have limits. People don't tend to have huge apps on their phone, right? That's one point. And how do we feel that people would be on board this thing even outside of a disaster, such that when disaster strikes, it will be available? Is that correct? Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah. And then the second part also, you mentioned about the infrastructure problems with regards to maybe how to find a particular route, how to get to a disaster relief station, right? So regarding these 2 points, what we feel is that the first thing is that a lot of our procedures that we feel like one key thing that we can value add again in peacetime, so-called, is the fact that you can have all your medical records stored there. So the idea being that even when there's nothing happening, when you go to your doctor and all that on a normal basis, you can even transfer that information over to your doctor such that they can see your patient history. So this is one thing that we feel definitely can help value add for people even in times where there is no disaster. And this application itself will automatically help sync up in the event that there's actually a disaster and it is there and appropriate. The second part regarding infrastructure, what we feel.
Right. Unfortunately, for the second part, we have to take it offline. The time is up, but thank you so much and congratulations to all the 7 teams. This concludes the pitching session of the evening. I'm now going to be taking the judges into a virtual deliberation room to fight and decide who are our top 3 teams for the 2020 AWS Hackdays. Get a break, get some rest, get some water. Don't go too far away. We'll be back in about 10 to 20 minutes. And we are back. What an intense deliberation round. Really a lot of fighting. I think the judges were all very impressed by the quality of the presentations. And with that being said, we'll now move to the award ceremony. We'll do a virtual drum roll. In second runner-up, we have Team Miracle. Team Miracle from Vietnam. You walk away with $75 worth of Amazon vouchers. Congratulations. Really great job. And with that said, the first runner-up is Team Badoop. Team Badoop from Singapore. You guys walk away with $100 in Amazon vouchers. Congratulations. It was a very tough competition. We had over 2,300 initial applications. And with that being said, I'd like to have all of you please to unmute yourselves for our final drum roll. So please, all of you unmute yourselves, open your camera, because the winner of the 2020 AWS Hackdays is Team Symbiote in the Philippines. Congratulations, you guys walk away with $20,000 in cash and a lot of pride. Again, massive congratulations. I know you guys are coming back for the second year, trying your luck again. Last year were close, this year landed on top.
Shucks,
really congrats to you. And I'll have Mark share a few more words from the judging panel. Mark.
Yeah, I gotta say, this was super fascinating. The level of effort, the enthusiasm, the innovation was outstanding. And so, yes, there are some winners today, but everyone that was presenting today truly is a winner. And you have done such amazing work. And so I just want to applaud everyone's effort. The winners, the folks that participated today, each and every team brought something of value and of incredible innovation. And that's what this really is about. It's about pushing the boundaries. It's about trying to disrupt markets and trying to deliver something of value to customers ultimately. And that's something that with AWS is such an important thing around customer obsession, as well as the ability to think big. And that's what we really liked about the presentations today is the think big approach. And I think where it really comes down to, just for some parting thoughts, when you think about your solutions, think about who the ultimate customer is. Think about how you distribute or convey the value of your solution to the people that you want to serve. The second thing I would consider is when you think about your technology and the architecture behind delivering that solution, make some hard choices. And I would always caution against complexity and double down on simplicity. Oftentimes, the best and easiest path doesn't necessarily rely upon the fanciest technology, but relies upon things that can work at scale. And obviously, AWS provides things that are very cutting edge and provides the nuts and bolts to make any solution scale to enormous capabilities. And so consider that as you think about the solutions that you've developed. And I would absolutely encourage you to continue on the work, because I think there really is some amazing businesses that can be built and some really valuable solutions that the market really needs. And I think you've put together teams and you've put together the framework of solutions underneath architectures that can allow those to scale and continue on and be the disruptors, be the innovators. So I really thank everyone's participation, and just go out there and seize the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mark. And maybe Team Symbiotic, anything you want to be sharing to the other participants?
We're speechless. Everyone is fantastic. All the solutions were fantastic. So congratulations to all of us.
Yes, indeed. Massive, massive congratulations. And just before we wrap up the evening, I'd like to have all of you please to open up your cameras for us to take a big group photo. Please open your cameras, Team Pakistan and Indonesia. Some of you still have your cameras closed. Don't be shy. All right, so on the count of 3, let's have a big, big smile.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, cheers. Congratulations to all the teams, to all the finalists, and a special shout out to Team Symbiote from the Philippines for landing up on top. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us in these Hackdays. It has been a phenomenal journey. And on behalf of the organizers, AWS and Agorize, we wish all of you a very good rest of the week. And we hope to see all of you in 2021. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Congrats again.
Thank you, everyone. It was a great hack day.